Join me, friends, as I see how many projects are a win and how many projects are a flop when I'm using this sublimation sheet. Hey everybody, it's Colette with Blessings Craft Therapy, if you didn't know, and if you did, thank you so much for coming back. All right, so I had scored this sublimation sheet at Michael's. It was on clearance for $5. So I said, hey, let's see if we can do some stuff. So I had gotten some pouches. I got this car coaster. I got these little keychains. I have these pens. They are pens, yes. Pens. I'm going to use some silicone beads. I also got this cute tumbler. And I'm also going to use some heat tape, and it makes it a little easier when you have some gloves. All right, so here's the first one. You cut your sublimation sheet down to the size of our pouch. I cover with parchment paper, and I'm using an iron because I didn't want to use my heat press. I just wanted to see if you could do it with an iron. I did this joker for 3 minutes, and look at, fail, flop, yuck. All right, next project. We're going to be doing this tumbler. I love it. So I cut my sublimation sheet down to the size of our tumbler. Obviously, you want to take all of the parts off the tumbler, obviously, but that was just to measure it. So here's my tumbler. Here's my sublimation sheet. I'm going to wrap my sublimation sheet. You want to put your print towards whatever you want to sublimate on, okay? And so I'm just going to wrap it, and this is where that heat tape came in. I'm going to wrap it nice and tight, and then I'm going to secure it with a piece of the heat tape. This is heat resistant tape. This isn't like regular tape, okay? So I put that on to keep it in place. And again, I was trying really hard not to use a press or a cup press or anything like that. I wrap it in some parchment paper, and then I have my wee little iron, and I ironed this joker. This one I ironed for like 4 minutes. I ironed it till the glory of God, and guess what? Nothing. Oh, I was so mad. I was so mad that I pulled out my mug press. And I'm like, that is it. I'm going to see if this mug press will work. You ever get crafting and you're not even doing it. You're not even seeing straight. So I put it in there thinking it was going to work. I let it cool. This is cooled. I put it in there and take it apart. Now listen, this was a flop, but we're going to redo it. So it kind of worked. It's got this like ombre kind of vibe to it, which I am there for. I'm not mad at that. But then the part where the mug would be, the handle, it didn't cover that part. So I've got a fix though, friends. Look I cut out some permanent vinyl on my Cricut machine, and here it is. We're going to set it on a nice little surface. I just have a little cloth that I put it on, and I'm going to put chosen, and it's got the scripture, and I'm going to put that on our glass. Listen, we are not going to waste anything here, friends. We're not going to waste anything. So I put that on. I made sure to squeegee it on, make sure that my vinyl is on there without any bubbles or anything like that. Take my transfer tape off. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not mad. I always hit it with a little bit of heat with my heat gun just to make sure that the permanent vinyl really adheres well. And then, holy Toledo, I feel like that's a win. It started as a flop, but I think it's a win. Look at how cute it is. I love it. And this, let's be clear about something. This inspired a whole other thing of projects. I'll show you. But look this is what it looks like. Again, I'm not mad. I think this came out really good. On to the next project. We're doing a little car coaster. You want to make sure that you're sublimating on the shiny side. Here's I just cut a little square of that sublimation sheet. I put a piece of parchment paper on top. Make sure it's nice and secure. And then I got my little iron, and I just held it there. I counted to 40. That's what I did. And I pulled off it. I was so happy. Wait, I can't wait for you to see it. Because I didn't think after the first one, I was like, this isn't going to work. And look it works so well. So sublimation on the car coasters works like a dream. Okay. Next one, we have our pen. We're going to take the tip, just unscrew the tip, take the inside ink out, then pull the top part out, set that aside for later. And then these sublimation things came with these little wraps. Interesting, right? So I just cut a strip for my pen, and the strip that I did was like 1.5 inches by 4 and a little less than 4.5 inches, something like that. I wrap it on my pen just like we did with the cup, and then we're going to secure it with our heat tape. Perfect. Then we're going to put that little sleeve on, and then we're going to use our heat gun to make the sleeve kind of wrap around it. Actually, it's like shrink wrap. It's very cool. It shrinked right around it, so it held that sublimation sheet on it nice and securely. Love it. And then I thought I was being slick. I thought I was being so slick. I put a piece of parchment paper on it, and I ironed it for 3 minutes. Take it off. I thought this is going to be everything. And no. Huge fail. Such a big fail. And I then did another one, and I just used my heat gun and just thought and I heated that thing, for a long time. And we're getting a little closer, but still no. But we're not going to waste this. This is where that cup made me do different stuff. So we used some printable vinyl. I printed out this little graphic that says Chosen to match the Chosen from the cup that we just did. And now we're going to add it to our pen. I use that little cutout thing for the clicker. I use that as a guide to make it nice and straight, and it worked like a charm. And then I just roll my pen onto our printable vinyl. Now, when you use printable vinyl, it's waterproof. It's permanent. So you don't have to do anything else from here, which I love an easy peasy project. Look at this. Perfect, right? I sanded off the edges. And yes, it does sand off. You could cut it perfectly and avoid that. And then see that little line in there? This is where the clicker goes. I just use my X-Acto knife to just cut that little notch out. And I use my little tweezers to pull out the excess. But then we're just going to put it back together. Put your clicker back in. Make sure that's all the way in. And then put the ink part in. And then you're going to screw the tippity top in and quit it. Now, I'm happy that I made the mistake because now I got to make this pen. Look how cute it is. And yes, friends, it is mandatory that you try the clicker. And these from Michaels, great clicker. Just saying. Anyways, look at how cute, right? Okay. On to the next project. These are the keychains. One side has this clear film. The other side is white. You want to sublimate on the white side. I cut another piece of that sheet, and we're going to put it, again, that darker side down, put a piece of parchment paper on top of that, then put my little iron on top of that. I just counted to 40. That's all I did. My iron is on cotton high. Then we got it. Look at, this is the back. Look at the front. What? It sees through. It's crazy. I was blown away. Now, these came with the little rings and all of that, so I just put it together. And then I thought, you know what? Some silicone beads. This would look cool as like a wristlet. So I set out some silicone beads, also from Michaels, and I'm using, this is just elastic for making jewelry. And I put all of that on, put my little key ring on that, and then I just tied it. I like to tie it in many knots, so I probably tied it 3 times after the initial tying so that we had some good knots. Once I did that, I cut off the excess of our elastic. Forgive me, I don't remember what the size elastic is, by the way. But then I hide the end inside another bead. So see how I kind of pull it, and I'm just pulling it through so it stays inside that bead. Look at how cute this is. And oh yes, I did add a little tassel also for Michaels, but stop it. Look how cute. Here's another one. Oh my gosh. So I thought I was going to be slick again. I printed this on full sheet mailing labels. It has true block, and you've seen me do these notebooks before. I put this on. I printed this Chosen. It's the same graphic that I used for making our tumbler and our pen. So here it is. I thought, I'm going to be slick. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to put that sublimation sheet on here, and it is going to look amazing. I was going for that ombre kind of look, so I was there for it. I thought, again, this is just like the pen. I thought I was doing something here. Though, always remember, it all works together for good, right? There is no waste. There is no waste of an experience here where it's all learning, right? So here it is, adorable. I love the look. Then I put my sublimation sheet on. I put my parchment paper on. I used my heat press, and oh, come on. It was going to be a great idea. Okay. Then it made me do this. Then I made this graphic in Canva, and I printed it out on those sheets that I said before, the mailing labels. And then you're going to do 2 blank ones. They're 9.5 by 7.5. You want 2 of those. Now, if you want to be really fancy, you could do some rounded edges. This is a We Are Memory Keepers crocodile, round edger, I think, a rounder. I don't know. whatever. And we're going to do the same process that we did with the first notebook that I messed up. And we're just going to put our top on. We're going to fold in the edges on the inside. If you want the info on the inside, don't cover it. I always get people mad at me when I do this, but I like a clean inside. You don't have to though. And I put that on, and listen, I am not mad. Look at how cute this is. I mean, it was inspired by that first one. If I didn't make that mistake, see, this is why it all works together for good. If I didn't make a mistake on that first one, I never would have made this graphic. And I am so there for this graphic. I love it. So anyways, all right. So we did a notebook. We did a pen. Super cool. Great clicker, by the way. We did a super cool car coaster. We also did our cup. I love that. Super pretty. We pivoted well, did we not? I think we did. And then we also made this cute little wristlet. Yes, I will find something to do with that other little pouch. But friends, look I am so excited. I feel like we've made a lot of wonderful things from one sheet of that sublimation sheet. Love it. Anyways, friends, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this inspires you.